It's time for the Ella Johnson Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show, where there are two sides to every story. Enjoy the broadcast. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ella Johnson Show. Listen, if you've been following us, I just want to say thank you. It is Black History Month here. We are going live every single day. Now, I will say there is an exception on this weekend. I know it's Super Bowl. Somebody had to remind me. And so we're not going to go live on Saturday and Sunday, but every day this month, besides this weekend, we'll be live here talking about Black issues, because that's what we do. So welcome to, if you're watching from Facebook, do me a favor, guys. Share the broadcast. I really do appreciate, and I see that you guys are doing it. I do appreciate that. So continue to do that. Share the broadcast, because we want as many people as possible to hear what we have to say. Now, if you're watching from YouTube, please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. I want you guys watching the Ella Johnson Show on a continuous basis. So please subscribe to my channel. I am excited. Hello, guys. Are y'all excited tonight? Yes?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. They're so excited that they just don't know what to do with themselves. Listen, guys, I am excited to have my guests again with me. These guys have been so awesome and faithful to the cause, because they continue to come with us every night live to bring these conversations to you guys. All right. So I just want to make sure that we introduce everybody. I want everybody to introduce themselves tonight to all of our guests, so that we can jump right in. Starting with you, Brett. Tell everybody who you are and where you're from and all that kind of good stuff.
My name is Brett Thompson. I'm from the great state of Texas, Houston, Texas, to be exact. And I am a lover of the Black culture, everything positive and productive, pushing forward. I'm also a lover of everything with Black people winning. I'm pushing Black people forward. I am a staffing expert. I try to put my people in position to to gain economical power. And I just want to keep people's minds and eyes on the prize.
I love it. Great introduction. I love it. Charlie, tell everybody who you are.
Well, my name is Charlie McCants. I'm in Mobile, Alabama. I have a ABA basketball team where I work with young men, basically giving them the opportunity to live their dream of playing professional basketball. And in addition to that, I partner with the largest legal service provider in the U.S., giving people the opportunity to have access to the legal system to basically address whatever their needs are. One of the key things that I recommend to people most of all is getting a will, living power of attorney, and most of all, use a consultation, because anytime you make a decision, if you advise on making the correct decision, it's always going to give you great results in the end.
That's right. Amen. Good job. I'm so excited about that. I want to bring you back so we can hear more about that. That's very interesting, and keep up the good work. Miss Kathy.
Yes. My name is Kathy Bell. I'm from the state of Florida, born and raised, and I was an educator there for over 30 years. I'm now living in the state of Maryland, and I do tend to look at a lot of issues from what I experienced in education, but also what I experienced growing up in the South in the 60s. And so I just do what I can to uh, being an anti-racist and to try to do my little part to make this a better world.
I love it. And thank you so much for all your service to our children of Florida. Miss you, but thank you
Yeah.
so much because for 30 years to stay in the game, huh, God bless you. I know I
I
couldn't have
can't
done it.
hear.
Yeah. So, Miss Heather, we can hear you though. Miss Heather, you can't hear us?
Well,
Okay. Wait a minute. I see what's going on. Hold on just a second. You're muted. You're muted. Heather, you're muted. Okay. No, you're muted.
hello?
There we go. There we go. So tell everybody who you are, dear.
I can't hear you.
Oh no. Oh boy.
I'm gonna go out and
So
come back in.
yeah, go out and come back in, dear. Let's see.
Oh
Let's
my
see if
God.
Terry is able to hear us. Terry, can you hear us? Awesome. So tell everybody who you are and what it is that you're doing over there in Tulsa.
Well, my name is Terry Backus, and I'm a tour curator of tours of blackwallstreet.com. Also, I co-produced and directed a documentary pertaining to Greenwood and its subsequent rebuild of the massacre. It can be seen on Tubi right now, Greenwood Ave Project, and I'm just honored to be a part of the Ella Johnson show. And I thank God for her and all that she do, all that her journalism sense. She has spider sense when it comes to journalism. And so, I'm honored to be on this show. And Brett Thompson, what's up?
What's going on, man?
It
What's
look
going
like y'all
on?
gonna get
That was
James Harden again.
No.
Yeah, it look that way, man. But it's an honor to be here.
It's an
All
honor
the
to have
guests.
you, Terry. Always.
Hey, but I wanted to ask Brother McCants, did somebody in your family play in North Carolina basketball? Or was that you?
No, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you? Okay.
All
You
right,
thinking of
let's try
Rashad?
Heather one more time and see if we can see. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you.
I love it. I love it when the
Yeah.
plan works. So tell everybody who you are, beautiful,
No,
and
thank
so
you.
we can get some.
Well, I'm Heather Nash. I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm a descendant of the Greenwood Massacre, 1921. I am the executive director of the organization. So we focus on finding descendants, getting them certified, and then working on the preservation of the Greenwood district.
Awesome. Welcome all of you to the Ella Johnson Show. We're ready for a great conversation. All right. They say there is nothing new
oh,
under the
I can't
sun.
hear
Tonight,
you.
the sun is shining on a very old, very dark pattern. On January 28th, when the FBI broke the seal on 700 boxes of our ballots, they didn't just seize paper, they seized a piece of our history. Now, we've seen this movie before. It's true. We saw it in 1969 when the FBI COINTELPRO was the law of the land, raiding apartments and shattering black leaders under the guise of national security. We saw it in 1985 in Marion, Alabama, when the DOJ hauled elderly black voters into federal court, calling their ballots fraud just because they dared to win local power. Isn't that something? The faces change, but the script is identical. Listen to the rhetoric coming from the top. In 2020, it was bad things happen in Philadelphia. In 2025, it was Atlanta is a corrupt disaster. And just this morning, guys, February 3rd, today, the call went out to nationalize the voting in crooked cities. Pay attention. Do you hear the rhyme? They don't call it segregation anymore. They call it nationalizing. They don't call it intimidation, they call it record retention. But when you use the 1960 Civil Rights Act, a law that was meant to keep the boots of the state off our necks, as a warrant to kick in the door of a black election hub. That is history repeating itself with a vengeance. Y'all got to pay attention. Here is what I want you to pay attention to tonight. Don't look at the boxes, look at the data. When Tulsi Gabbard stands in an election warehouse and talks about malign interference, she is branding your vote, people, as a national security threat. When the DOJ seizes unredacted voter rolls, they aren't looking for fraud from 5 years ago. You believe that? Come on now. They are building a watch list for 5 months from now. Somebody turn your phone down. This isn't an investigation, it's a digital literacy. It's a message sent to every black voter in Fulton County. We have your name, we have your address, and we are watching. That's what this is all about. Now, tonight, we aren't just talking about a raid, we're talking about the blueprint of suppression. We're talking about why they are so afraid of the perfection of your 2020 vote that they had to come back. Check this out in the middle of the night, okay, to try and steal its soul. Now, what's going on? The march on the hub has begun. Ancestors are watching, so are we. I want to welcome you all to the show tonight. Let's dig in. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So before we get started, I have to say this. I don't usually like to do this, but somebody's phone is on and it's repeating everything I'm saying. Who is that?
Yes.
Everybody check your phone because we're not going to be able to go throughout the whole show like that.
No.
Y'all
Thank
excuse us for a moment. This is live TV. Hello, somebody. Lord, show us mercy. So I really need, okay. So whoever figured it out, I appreciate that. All right, guys. So if you were just tuning in to the broadcast, we are about to get started. Listen, this is Black History Month on the Ella Johnson Show. And we aim to tackle subjects that we know are current, but there's nothing new under the sun. It's something that's happened before, right? So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to show you, and I want you to pay attention. We're going to show you how this raid is just history repeating itself. Okay? So I want you guys to bring your comments. I want to hear what you have to say, ask questions, whatever it is that we're doing. What's going on, guys? What we got? What we got? Okay. So, let's see here. Who do I have here? Who is that?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello, how's it going, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good.
I am so excited that you were able to make it tonight.
Yeah,
Before we,
I'm on the East Coast, so I was, I'm done.
I love it. I appreciate it. So I want you to tell everybody who you are before we were just about to get dig in.
Well, RL.
RL.
Yeah, that's
And that's real. That's what it is. But tell us about your podcast because you just finished your podcast. Tell everybody about your.
Yeah, matter of fact,
podcast.
we did a same thing you're doing. We did a Black History Month today.
Okay.
Had a lot of questions about where we are as a people. Just questions, just throwing questions out. Pretty much, that's what we did.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to bring everybody up to speed. If you haven't heard about this raid by now, guys, if we break this down, this is what's going on. There was a raid in Atlanta. Okay. Now, mind you, the officials in Atlanta did not see this coming. Fulton County, they did not see this coming. There wasn't like a subpoena, what normal people would do. There was nothing like that. They just came like, what's up? And they wanted to do it in a criminal sense. Think about it. Why would they do a subpoena versus just showing up? Why do you think that is? They wanted to make sure that they were able to keep everybody away. They made it like a crime scene. They had the yellow tape out and everything. Nobody could go in, and it was just crazy. They just came there, and they left out with 700 boxes. 700 boxes. 523,000, not dollars, 523,000 ballots. Now, that's people's private information. They're unredacted. So you know what that means? That means everything that is exposed, birthday, social security numbers, right, RL,
Yeah.
and it's just out there. Now this is really happening, guys, in the United States of America. This is real, right there in Fulton County. Now, mind you, regardless to what Fulton County and Atlanta, regardless of whatever bad blood they've had before, they're having to come together on this issue. Real talk. This is bad. This is really bad.
Well,
Now,
Fulton County is pretty much Atlanta, you know.
yeah. So basically, there was a warrant signed by a federal magistrate judge, you know, citing, this is what they said in the warrant, that there's potential violations from Title 52. Okay? That's one thing. And they were blindsided. This is we're going to get into it a little bit more, but I just want to give you guys the gist of it. Let me get you guys perspective. When you first saw this, Ariel, what was your first thought when you learned about this?
I expected that. I think they should have expected that. They should have expected Trump shenanigans, because he's telegraphing everything he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, he still has grievances about the 2020 election. He's still talking about. They should have had their ducks in a row. They should have had everything, you know, proper in proper standing. You feel what I'm saying? Now
Yeah.
the danger. Now I think the worry is that they're going to get it and do what they want to do with it. And once they get it, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no idea what they're doing with it. That's the problem. You know, the officials in Fulton County, they have no idea where they're taking this stuff, what they're going to do with it.
Right.
And you know
Right.
he's going to say, okay, well, I found some stuff wrong with it.
Yeah.
Because he's Trump. Trump is going to lie. He's going to lie
Yeah.
about it anyway. And his
Oh.
minions, they're going to be knocking step. I mean, I don't know why people trust this administration still. I really don't understand why people still trust this administration to be honest and truthful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everybody else, you guys could jump in as well. I agree with that, Ariel, because this is what I thought was interesting about this. That they went, the guy, the chief, what's his name? He resigned like a week before all this went down without giving an explanation. He just quit. Like, I'm out of here. The guy that ran the FBI office in Atlanta, he was just out.
Donald.
they-
Donald. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Donald Trump is the master of deception. Okay. And what he's doing is laying the foundation for the midterms. And he's trying to already lay down that the midterms are going to be stolen, because everybody, if you got two eyes, you see a blue wave coming, probably a blue typhoon coming. And then so Trump wants to be able to, he doesn't want to believe that it's his policies that are making people vote against him. He wants people to believe that people are cheating. So he's trying to mobilize every red voter and swing state voters, and basically swing voters, to convince people that the Democrats are cheating, so they can get votes and try to delegitimize the midterms.
Yeah, we're going to get into a lot of that, because the rhetoric is something else. Not just with Trump, but all the Republican, his cabinet, and I have some responses from what the Democrats are saying. I mean, this is something. Now, Tulsi Gabbard showed up. She's the director of national intelligence. What is she doing there? What's that all about?
Let me add to what Brett said. Brett, I think it goes out further than just the midterm. I think he's looking to 2028. Let me tell you, Trump can care less about everybody else. If you don't know Trump, he could care less about these other candidates. He's worried about 2028. How can he wiggle his way to maybe stay in office?
Yeah.
He knows, but he's scared. He's scared of 2026, because if the Democrats, if they win the House and the Senate, They're gonna impeach him. They're going to impeach
Yes.
him as long as they don't do nothing stupid like try to file file for the impeachment too early. They
Yes.
have to wait. They have to wait till next year, and everybody's in office, and and get all their ducks lined up. But the Democrats, you can't really trust them.
But what
You
weight,
can't really
what
trust them
weight,
to do the
what
right
weight
thing.
does an impeachment have these days?
I
An
mean,
impeachment it has no weight as far as
Right.
removing him. He's not removed. Who cares about an impeachment?
Man, Rob,
He's been impeached twice.
right?
He's been
But he was
twice.
impeached. When he was impeached,
He
there
sh-
was it was a Republican majority in the
yeah.
House and Senate. But if it's a majority in Democrat and if we're recording a majority Congress with Democrats, oh, he got nothing. He got nothing to protect him. Nothing.
That's true.
But he's so arrogant, you'd have to put him out by force. You'd have to probably drag him out the bed. He's that ignorant.
I'll sign up. Yeah, the reason we needed to talk about this tonight, guys, because it's so important for everybody to get a clearer understanding of what's really going on. Don't get sidetracked thinking that they just went in and got those ballots. No, the election was won. It was audited. Everything was done. Why now? Think about it.
Yeah.
Why now, Kathy? Why now? Why now that you need those records that they have no use anymore? What else could you need them for other than to sneak around and see what really went on?
What's interesting to me is one, he said this in the last election, and none of us believed him. He said it very plainly. He said, "If you get me into office," he didn't care how he got into office. He said, "If you get me into office, you will never have to vote again
He
in the
did
United
say it.
States."
He sure
Now he
did.
was telling us right then and there, I will be a dictator. I've already got my plans. We will take control, and this will no longer be a democracy if you get me into office. And I thought it was interesting. His word choice tells on him all the time. He says the quiet part out
Out
loud
loud. Yeah,
all
Mhm.
the
all
time.
the time.
And this time, he is. What I also think is interesting, though, with all the Epstein files and all the other stuff that's going on
Yeah.
with Minnesota and everything, most people forgot he tried to cheat in Georgia. I haven't heard that
Mhm.
phone call where he asked for those votes in years. And now I've heard it about 8 times today with his voice saying, just find the votes in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So my hope this is going to backfire on him, that
Yeah.
um that he's going to bring attention to the very place. First of all, Georgia's got some tough people in Georgia. Georgia don't play when it comes to elections. Georgia wrote the book on not cheating in elections, um, and he's taken on some fierce people to show up and literally steal their ballots. That's what
Yeah.
he did. Just like he stole the East Wing. he
Yes.
I don't
thinks
know.
if it's in our borders, it belongs to him and him alone. That's what he thinks. And yeah,
This,
I do think George is
yeah.
really gonna go after him, but I also think he messed up because he really reminded all of us what a cheat he is.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
But guys, I want everybody to pay attention to something too. Right now, there were current litigation going on where they were trying to get these votes. They were trying to get them, the ballots, and they were losing.
Yep,
So Trump had to do something because they
yep,
say, well, we heard that they were going to get rid of them. So we had to come in and rush it like this. Come on.
yep.
Come
Get
on,
rid of
guys. Like, yeah.
get rid of what now? The ballots?
Yeah. No, there's litigation right now in court that the DOJ was trying to get the ballots. They were trying to get it,
Okay.
like going
That's
through
right.
courts. They were
Yeah,
losing them.
I
Yeah.
was reading today a little bit about it, and one thing that kind of disturbed me was that they took the original ballots And that's
Yeah.
one thing they're going to court for. That makes me a little nervous. They took
Yeah.
the original ballots, and there's a law they're supposed to take a copy. And the other thing that kind of concerned me too was there was a question about the warrant. And this just goes back to yesterday when we were talking about three words: 12-year-old. The way he thinks is like a 12-year-old. And the
Yes.
thing that got me was the warrant. And I know this because I've worked with people that had warrants at their home. And so one thing, you have to give them a copy of that warrant. And in that warrant, it tells you what rooms you can go in and where you cannot go in. And they didn't even know that they weren't that the records were no longer at the election board, that they had moved them over to the county clerk's office. So it just tells me they're totally not equipped to do the job that they're doing in the first place.
Yeah. I know you want to jump in, Ariel. You just look like you just got something to say. I know. It's coming. I can see it coming all out.
Now I'm gonna let Mr. Charlie. You go ahead.
Well, I mean, when I look at all of this, one of the things that I see is that a lot of the things that's taking place, he basically said it when he was in office first term, because I think that he was expecting he was expected to get reelected,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the reason why a lot of the things that he's doing now that he didn't do. But one of the things that he did say after he didn't get elected, that if he came back, all those things was going to be done.
Yeah.
Because to me, doing the before the election took place, several things that he said that he was going to do was that he was going to deport people.
And he's
That
doing it.
was part of his
Mm-hmm.
campaign. That things that he didn't do before, he was going to follow through on. And if you notice, the very day that he got in office, he started signing things to start getting that momentum going. And
Hmm.
I think a lot of people didn't take him at his word when he said he was going to do it, because
I
everything that's
agree.
taking place now is things that he said he was going to do before he got in office.
Yeah.
But Charles, Charles, I don't think people have a problem with deportation the way he said he would do. He said he was going to get the criminals out. He was going
But
to
he's
get
not
the
doing that.
bad people out. Exactly. But so they didn't. He kind of misled people because people don't mind you getting the criminals out. Okay, you get
Of
criminals,
course.
get them out.
Right.
But
Right.
you just kicking in doors, getting anybody out who you know what I'm saying, who's not who don't have who's not even a legal citizen. You're just getting everybody out. People have been here 20, 30 years. I mean, I don't understand what it is. And Obama they say he was the deporter in chief. Why can't you do it in a more humane way? That's the
Exactly.
issue. The issue
Yes.
is not about Democrats don't mind you deporting people because we deported people. Obama deported people. Clinton deported a lot of people, but they deported them as they came through the system.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they weren't going in schools and churches looking for people. They wasn't looking for them. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? They
Deporting
deported them
people
as they came through the system.
Right.
There,
Right.
I think
People are going to their hearings, and ICE is waiting on. All they're doing is printing
Yeah.
out the dockets, and
Yeah.
they're going there, and these people are legal. They're legal, and they're just detaining them and deporting them.
Yeah.
I think there's a simple reason for that. Um, he talked about just deporting illegals because he knew that's what the America would accept. But meanwhile, in the background, there's a whole bunch of white supremacists just wringing their hands, ready to go to get
Mm-hmm.
rid of every person in this nation that does not have white skin, including the ones that were indigenous. Because if he had his way, he'd get rid of them too. I mean, that's what this nation was built on. Oh, you think you own this land? No, you don't. The white Europeans own this land. And that's been the theme from day one. They wanted a white European nation, and they came over here and found out that there were other people here already that had some
Mm-hmm.
color in their skin, and that's
Mm-hmm.
not what they were looking for. So all of those January 6th people, they're all running around now with a uniform on. They don't care what Trump's
Mm-hmm.
goal is. They have their own goal. There's a whole, I don't know if you call it underground or
Mm-hmm.
underlying, underpinning in the nation of they think they can get rid of everyone that's not white.
Yeah.
And I think where they're mistaken is this is year 2026. And back in the day when we didn't talk with each other every 2 seconds and we didn't have all the social media and video recordings and all those kinds of things, and that's one of the reasons why I think maybe the civil rights movement didn't progress as as far as it should have, because information was blocked, it was stopped. And me over in Florida had no idea what was happening in Greenwood. No idea. That was not being talked about.
Right.
I didn't learn about it till it was like 25, 30 years old. I had no idea.
What about
And
Rosewood?
but now you say, well, Rosewood I did know about because
Oh,
that was
okay.
right down the street.
Right,
That
right.
I had that, but even that I did not know about it as a child. It took me becoming an adult, becoming a teacher, starting to talk to
Wow.
some black folk from our area to really find out. One of my good friends is a huge advocate for Rosewood, and she's taught me more than the books ever taught
Lizzie?
me.
Is it Lizzie?
Yes,
Yeah, we
yes,
know
Yes.
Lizzie.
yes, yes, yes. It's Lizzie,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and Lizzie opened my eyes to what I had been living in my entire life because I just didn't even realize it. So I'm living, 40 minutes away from Rosewood and don't know about that. How in the world am I going to know about Ocoee, Greenwood? So many. I mean, we could spend all night talking about the atrocities that have happened in this nation.
Yeah.
But now people are aware, and the young people, that's where there's a different breed of a younger generation coming up that, I mean, I felt it when I was younger that everybody was activists and they wanted to do something, and then they got old and they let it go. But with social media, this is a different, crew.
Yeah. So
So I
one thing,
think it's not going to work as well as he thinks.
oh yeah, I agree. But it's gonna
Mhm.
take our activism to make
Yes.
sure. Yeah. So one thing, because this is Black History Month, I wanna dig back into Black history, and let's talk about sometimes with blacks, because we were always targeted for everything. But we were
Yep.
raided by the FBI often. Okay. So
Yep.
we're gonna touch some of those tonight. We're gonna talk about, and I know everybody's familiar with this one. This is the Hampton, Fred
Mm.
Hampton.
Oh,
That's a very
Hmm.
popular, right, Ariel?
Yeah.
Now that one, we're gonna get into it because the FBI. But listen, let me ask you guys a question. Let's just talk real. How important to this story is the fact that they were able to use one of our own to infiltrate the Black Panther Party to fulfill their mission? Let's address that, because that is what happened. How do we feel about that? Starting with you, Brett. How do you feel
Oh,
about that?
they used the COINTELPRO. They used paid informants, and they did it. They didn't do it because they picked out like guys that were sellouts or anything like that. They had leverage on people. Like Bill
Yeah.
O'Neill was like, I think Bill O'Neill had like he had like charges for like theft
Yeah.
and
he was
and to
looking at
work
prison time. Yeah.
right, and to escape prison time, he was told to infiltrate. But that's what I mean. That's been done all over the world, in history. That's how people have infiltrated in wars and gotten into enemy territory. And these are the reasons why, like the Black Panthers were taken down, because of people like this that come in and act as double agents.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, you were going to say something, Kathy? Go ahead.
No.
Okay. So let's break that one down, because what kind of stuff happened with that one that seems a little similar to what we're going on now? All right. So the Hampton he was shot. Now you would think, what is it why did they shoot him? Why did they shoot him? What do you guys think? Because the FBI, they shot back one time, Black Panther Party did, but they loaded hundreds of rounds into that apartment where they were, and they killed him.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
Anytime they can't buy you off, that's the worst case scenario. If they can't pay you, if they can't pay you off your mission, and we was talking about this on my show, how like I'm saying, like Snoop Dogg, and somebody mentioned Jay-Z, how he said the kneeling is over with. Yeah, he's getting paid to do that. Anytime they pay you, they expect something from you. And when they can't pay you, they can't boss you. If they can't buy you, they can't boss you. And they understand that. You know what I'm saying? In order to keep dominance over a certain group of people, you can't have people rising up. And you know what I'm saying? Like Martin Luther King, you couldn't buy him off. So how do we stop what he's doing? Medgar Evers, how do we stop him? He's not taking bribes. He's not taking payment.
Yeah.
How do we get him? And that's always been the worst case scenario for us. You know what I'm saying? So,
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Rob. Because that's ultimately the way they killed MLK, is because getting people civil rights. That was the first step. People think that's all Martin Luther King did was get civil rights. No, he wanted to get civil rights so we could properly own land and properly have rights and privileges as every other American. We had to do that first. Get that first, and then what he was doing was he was going to go after the Homestead Act. The Homestead Act that was giving out land to European settlers for over 100 years. They were doing that. Hundreds of years they were doing that, and then they decided, Martin Luther King was coming for that. Now all these Black people got these newly civil rights. They're going to be taking up land that we wanted to keep control of. So what they do, they kill him, and they end in 1968, and they quietly end the Homestead Act in 1972.
The other thing about I'm sorry.
You want
me? The other thing about, I think, Fred Hampton is he did a good job of leading people. He created a multicultural group of people. So the forces were going to be bigger than even what Huey P. Newton had done. His voice was becoming strong. And I think that the other side of that too, the reason why they shot him like they did is because they can get away with it.
Yeah,
it was just that simple and easy.
And they've been doing it to everybody,
and they don't get convicted for it.
Yep.
Right. That, people think that Jesse Jackson created the Rainbow Coalition. It was Fred Hampton. He started the original Rainbow Coalition, getting people from different ethnic backgrounds, getting them all together to unite. And then, but that white man, he does a great thing. He does a great job of divide and conquer. And that's what he has done since then.
Yes.
And, I mean, he's pitting everybody against each other. Even right now, because look at Black folks and how we feel about the immigrants now. There is a huge people that feel like, man, that's not their bad. That's not their fight. That's not our fight. That's their fight. And then why? Because we were being mistreated and they weren't catching our backs. So, divide and conquer.
Let me say this to, what's her name, Miss Kathy Bell?
Yeah, Miss Kathy.
When you hear us say the white man, we're not talking about all white people. We're talking about the power structure.
The power structure.
We're talking about the people who control the power structure. So
I'm fully aware.
So I can imagine you kind of feel kind of like this.
Oh no, we already talked about it before the show.
Yeah. So when we say the white man, we're not talking about you.
Your husband.
The power structure. Because we don't control
Power structure.
We don't control the justice system. We don't control the monetary system. It's somebody white controlling it. So we always say the white man because they at the top. You know what I'm saying? So
I really appreciate you saying that. Even 10 years ago, I would have probably needed that disclaimer, but I'm not. I see it. I see it. And when I don't hear when you say the white man, I don't hear anything personal because honestly, I don't have much in common with the white establishment. I just don't. I'm sorry. I'm sick of poor white people. I just really am.
Don't be ashamed of being white. That's who God made.
I'm not ashamed to be white, but I am ashamed a lot of my ancestors.
Let me say this. The battle is not against black and white. The battle is against good and evil.
That's right. That's right. Thank you.
The thing about it, the people at the top, they make it. They keep this fight going. Trump keep this fight going. The powers that be, they keep this black and white fight going on, so they can keep enriching themselves, so they can stay in power. Right. That's the only reason why they keep this battle going to black and white. Now you got now they got division in the black community, the light skin and the dark skin, and now you got the Democrats versus Republicans. It's so many divides in America that keeps them in power. And once we figure that out, the power would go to masses, to the 99%. But right now, the 1% got us in battle every day. We're in battle.
Exactly.
They got us battling each other about something every day, and we can't even focus to realize who's really in control. We let 1% of the people control 99% of us, and they understand that. You know, that's why Trump in his campaign, he sowed a seed between the blacks and the Latino. They taking your jobs. Yeah, I've never heard a politician tell black people, they taking your jobs. That was to sow a seed, and it kind of worked in a way because a lot of black men, he's right.
Didn't even think about. Wait a minute, that doesn't make. What are you saying?
It doesn't make sense at all. Even though your black unemployment was at an all-time low when he said it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow.
So but one thing Trump do, he understands that chaos. If I can keep chaos, I can win. Yeah. He sows chaos and he wins every time.
And he does it so many times that you can't keep up. Yeah. And he's over here messing with the voting rights, and we're over here talking about Epstein. It's like, no, you got to keep up because this man is trying to nationalize. He doesn't want states to have any say-so in these elections. He wants to control it. That's a problem, guys.
He'll make people vote against their own interests.
Yes.
DEI, we got to take away DEI. DEI did more other groups benefited off DEI than we did.
Exactly.
The majority were white women, and so
exactly.
And then they voted
but they voted against their interests because he made it like it was a black thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's a master of disguises, man. So and once people can't figure him out, but I've been saw him coming. I know the devil when I see it.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
So check this out. Since we're talking about Trump right now, last night I asked the panel to say, okay, give me 3 words that describes Trump. I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to do it. You go first, Brett. 3 words.
Okay. Lies. Deception and power.
All right, those are good. Kathy, 3 words that describes it.
I only got 2 words. Pure evil. Pure evil. I keep trying to find some good because that's the kind of person I am. I like to find good in everybody.
I stop with Trump.
That man is pure
He
pure,
really is.
pure evil.
But if you listen to him, he'll tell you exactly what it is. So
Sure,
Kathy, let me ask you a question. If let's say white people hear you saying that, how do you think they receive that coming
they
from
don't like it.
you?
They don't
Okay.
like it. I don't say it to very many white people. I'm not stupid.
But why though? Why do you have a fear of it's the truth though? So
It is
why do
the
you have
truth.
a yeah.
It is the truth. And I am getting more where I speak out more and more and more. I really, to tell you the truth, I got tired of arguing. Um, it really surprised me how many of my quote friends, acquaintances, church people, or whatever embraced him so much. And I'm like,
Mm,
he's so opposite of everything I stand for, what I thought you stood for. And at the beginning of, I would see things on Facebook and I would just be like, really? Yeah, I used to have respect for you, and you just said that. And
yeah.
it really caused me to not respect a lot of people that I thought had brains. And I realized, sorry, I realized that so much so, um, people were very uneducated. That was the key. And even educators can be uneducated about
Mhm.
Yeah.
some of the things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because as a white person growing up, there was so much I did not know. And but I chose to learn about it, especially after George Floyd.
Okay.
I that became my mission because I was shocked that on 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 a video like that a man can be killed so ruthlessly. But then
And they
I
blamed him
st-
for it. Ain't that
yes,
something?
yes.
Yeah.
But then I started finding out George Floyd was one of many. He's just one of the
Yes.
ones that I said, now we finally have some videos coming out and we can see just how ruthless people have been treated for
Hmm.
years and years and years. And that's why I wanted to educate myself. And I've I just started watching documentary after documentary. But you know what? Most people are not there. They think they know everything. They think they've heard everything. They are not willing to look and see what their eyes and ears are telling them.
You know what I
Yeah.
think the greatest tragedy in America is?
What's that?
It's the fact that they don't recognize our greatness. Our greatness will make this country the greatest country
Come
ever.
on, say it.
Yes.
Say it.
Our greatness,
Preach.
Yes.
if the
Preach.
contributions we have made to this country
Preach.
Yes.
is unimaginable. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? The
Yes.
contribution we have made. If you go just look up black inventions, you'll say the iron board,
Oh, we're gonna talk about
the
that. That's gonna
iron.
be one
I
of our
mean,
shows.
things
Yeah.
like every day the
Yep.
street lights. I mean, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
First heart
And
surgery? Yeah.
yeah, the first
And you take
transplant,
it back
blood
further and you
transfusions.
go,
You know what I'm
you
saying? I
take,
mean, like we are America. If you think
and
about
it,
it,
Uh,
we built America. You know,
yeah.
literally, the White House was built with our hands.
Yes.
mhm.
Trump tearing it down,
Yes.
but we we built the original one.
It's true. No, it's true. You're
But
absolutely right about that.
yeah, so what I'm
Um,
saying, I think once America once America really figure out that if we let them do their thing, we can all benefit. You know, instead of holding them back, let's let them go do their thing. You know what I'm saying? They have
Because
proven
America's
their
about
greatness.
power.
They have proven we don't want power. We just want our. You know what I'm saying?
You
Power.
saying we, but it's them. They want power.
Well, see, a lot of people don't understand that either. That they're intimidated by folks of different color, and they think they want power. And that is just not the case. They want opportunities, they want education, they want to be treated just like everybody else is treated. They want things to be equal. And you're right. You're right. And I started really even going back into African history. And I'm
Mm,
stunned at some of the incredibly uh, intelligent, good systems and you know, not inventions, but ways of life
But
and things that,
Kathy,
yeah,
listen, evolution started with us.
I
right.
know, I
So why
know.
would you be surprised? We
Because I didn't know that so recently. That's why I'm surprised. I thought
Yeah.
Adam and Eve were white. They weren't. I didn't know that because I was too dumb, like a lot of people, to realize that Egypt, where Moses was put in the basket, is right there on the continent of Africa. We don't think like that. We're not taught like that in schools. We're
Right.
taught to see Africa as black,
Bad.
uh, yes, savages, just like Native Americans were savages that just lived in tribes and had no advance. I think the Black Panther brought that out really well of what could be, possible.
so let me ask you
But
one
that,
question. I don't mean to cut you
hmm
off. Let me ask you one question. So you think the fear is that we will overtake?
oh, yes.
Oh, so I
Oh,
think
yes.
that's the biggest fear
There
that
it
we will
is.
Yes.
become
Yes.
greater and then do what
Yes.
you
Jealousy. It's a
do
lot
what
of
It
jealousy.
is.
do
And
you
and
do what
I'm
you
like, and I'm definitely in the minority, but I'm like, oh, please take over.
But to be
Because
but to be honest, we don't. It's not in our nature to even have those type of desires. We just want
right,
y'all to get out the way and let us do our thing. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Just get out the way,
exactly.
yeah, and let us and let us and don't put any hurdles, any roadblocks, any
Right.
pitfalls in front of us. Just let us do our thing, and we and I promise we won't bother you.
Exactly.
Because that's
we're
what
not like
this
Trump.
month
We're
is.
not like Trump. We're not
Yeah.
seeking retribution.
Right.
Right. Because
You know
that's
what I'm
what this
saying?
month is all about, guys. If you are Caucasian and you're watching this broadcast, understand that we recognize what our history was. We recognize that the FBI rated us. They looked at black men as a threat, and if
Yeah.
they just would have worked with us, we could have got farther along. But we were a threat. They had to neutralize all the black leaders. They did it with all of them. And the fact that we're talking about this, it's it's for us to know, for those of us who, but it's also for you to know, so that you can understand, okay, listen, you may be enjoying some of these things like what Ariel said, these inventions, but it was a black man that actually gave them the idea. Well, then why didn't you guys
hmm
get credit for it? Ding ding ding. You know why?
hmm
Because we were property. We couldn't
hmm
own things. We couldn't, if we
hmm
couldn't vote, do you think we could get a patent? Because if
Right.
we could, and then here's another thing, when it came to the land, it was one of those things where they would run us off the land just so they could seize it.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
you started a farther along than us because you stole it. It wasn't
Exactly.
that we were lazy. It wasn't that we didn't want better. We had accomplished. Rose, I mean,
It wasn't.
Greenwood is right
It
here in the
wasn't.
house,
It was.
right?
As
Yeah,
soon as we
Ella,
as soon
Ella.
as we built our own, we did for ourselves. They took it from us. I wish Terry
Took it.
Backus was here to tell us about Tulsa. But like, and they did it and sneak. If they didn't burn down and bomb towns, they did it through eminent domain and
Yep.
in the names of
Urban
Urban
renewal and all that.
renewal.
urban renewal, and then they run freeways through our communities. They put
Yeah.
Rob Ariel, you'll tell in Lake Lanier in Georgia. I mean, they just
Mhm.
Yeah.
they just they
Yeah.
just ran people out of town and built a lake on top of their community. Central
hmm
Park in New York. I mean,
Say it. There you go. That's another one. Central Park. That was all black right there, guys. Don't get it twisted. Okay, what were you gonna say, Charlie? Looks, I want you to jump in. Were you going to say something? Add something?
Well, the three things that I would think of is power, greed, and manipulation.
Oh, that's a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But guys, let's get, if we're gonna give Trump some credit, let's give him credit for being able to get people to follow him. Like if he was a Jim Jones, he could kill a lot of folk just like Jim Jones did. Like I
Absolutely.
really
Get
think
people to
he
drink
could.
that Kool-Aid.
He
What?
said it in that. He said he could stand in the middle of street and shoot people, and people would
Yep, he
still
did.
vote for him, and they did it.
I
I
believe it.
mean, he.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
but but Ella, when you think about it, though, he's not acting like Jim Jones. But when you think about the people that's doing the things that he suggests, might as well be the same.
Might as well. It's so it.
Mm-hmm.
I can help us understand, Kathy. Is it a thing where no, because he's white, he could be the dumbest person in the world, but because he's white, they'll always just agree with him? I mean, is that like a thing in the white
Well,
culture?
I would
Oh,
I would say that uh, the Republican Party for a very long time. This did not come up with Trump. And when you study out the history of the Republican Party, this started way back in the early 1900s that they figured out we got to do if we don't be careful. They knew they had more slaves or former slaves in America than they did white people. They were outnumbered, and they
Definitely
knew
in the
that.
South. Definitely in
Yes,
the
and
South.
they were intimidated by that. And the Republican Party started this mess a long time ago. Trump was chosen because he's white and because you can buy him. The all powerful dollar. And so white wealthy men figured this out a long time ago that there's a lot of smart black people in this world and they're going to take over if we don't do something. And they that's where the Ku Klux Klan came from. Was they were scared, they were intimidated that they were going to lose the power
Right.
in their society. And it's a tale as
I think it
it's
switched
tale
over
as old as time.
with the southern strategy. It's when the Republicans kind of like turned it around. The southern
Yep.
strategy when because the South used to be blue. The
Yes.
South used to be all blue.
Yes,
Yes.
Now they're
that's
all
true.
red. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
And this is what
Yeah.
I try to explain to people. How did that happen? Why are all the southern states red now when they used to be blue?
Oppression, because you oppress people and then you give them handouts so they feel loyal to you. And the South is also some of the poorest areas
Hmm.
in this nation, and it's just straight up oppression. We got something you want, money and power. So you
And we're gonna
better
control
stay in
you.
line.
Right.
That's right. So, and then we're going to take good care of you. We're going
Yeah.
to give you the
The,
But your husband
housing
can't
that.
be in the
the,
house.
Sou- the South
But
has
your
always
husband can't be in the house now.
That's right.
the South has always been conservative, and
Yeah.
what happened was the Democrats used to be conservative,
That's
and
right.
Yes.
they abandoned like the freed slaves,
Right.
doing anything for
Right.
them, and then what they and what happened was so like the well actually yeah and what it was is that liberal ideologies that it actually flip flopped. Okay, you know, Republicans became more, all about small government and
Mm-hmm.
less about taking care of the people and things like that. And the Democrats actually wanted to be more liberal and pick up more voters And that's where
Mhm.
things like FD and then what was the capper was a lot of people think it was civil rights that turned black people to Democrats, but it was before that. It was FDR in the New Deal, and then that allowed black folks to actually
Yes.
purchase homes, not in every area, but actually purchase homes, build wealth, and move forward, and that's how the ideology switched and how black folks started. Um,
Have
uh,
y'all heard of Southern strategy? Yeah,
I've heard
research the
something
Southern
about it.
strategy. Yeah,
Yeah.
research the Southern strategy.
Yeah.
yeah, it
Now,
wasn't. It
March.
wasn't. Martin Luther King Sr. didn't get on Twitter and tell black folks to start voting,
Say
Yeah.
what? Nah,
like that rumor going around. He
Uh,
got he put out a
so, guys,
tweet.
I want to take a moment and introduce Miss Marsha. Welcome her to the show.
Well,
Yay,
thank you.
Marsha! Marsha,
Thank
Marsha,
you.
Marsha.
I
Yeah.
apologize for all the difficulty I was experiencing. I felt like a little schoolgirl trying to get into the program, but I don't know what was happening. For some reason, I couldn't access the messages, the recent
Mm-hmm.
messages, but never
Uh-huh.
mind all that. I was going to
Yeah.
dovetail onto the conversation about the two parties, how the spirit of the two parties changed because Republicans, many abolitionists were Republicans, people who wanted to see slaves freed. And of course, there was an element there was an element of humanity, but remember also that uh, Democrats were clinging to slavery because, of course, the business, that was their money. And the more northern Republicans, didn't care if their businesses, if their business suffered. Yes, some were humanitarian, but some were like, whatever. They didn't care for the competition. Some didn't care for the economic competition that the South had by having all that free labor. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so in
Mhm.
some cases there was a humanitarian aspect, but also a competitive one. So, a
Yeah.
lot of times when the discussion about slavery is held, it's not particularly humane. It was business and maybe a touch of humanitarianism, but um, that's all. I enjoy examining history and looking at motivations. And during Reconstruction, many of the blacks who ran for office and secured office as Republicans. So um, those many of our first elected black officers, black um, politicians were Republican then.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
So, guys, I want to bring up some more examples because, like I said, we want to make sure we bring uh, our Black history into the conversation, into the fold, because that's what the purpose of it. There was another raid that happened that's kind of closer to what this is going on right now. This is the voter fraud raid that was the Marion 3. This happened in Alabama. How many of you guys remember this one?
I
This
remember a
is
little bit about it.
it was after the voting rights began showing real power. Okay. The DOJ, it was Jeff Sessions at that time. He targeted civil rights activists like Albert Turner, Evelyn Turner, and Spencer Hogue. Now, they seized hundreds of absentee ballots from black voters in Perry County. And this is what they were saying: voter fraud. Sound familiar? They
Mhm.
physically hauled elderly black voters into federal court. Guys, they brought them into court to interrogate them about how they voted. Like we're dumb and we don't know. That's why they said Tulsi was there, because she was there to protect. For what? How many white minority cities have we experienced? You're the educator here, Kathy. How many white minority cities have they ever said this about? It's always these corrupted cities that Trump names. And guys, let me tell you, those 15 cities he's talking about, they're all ours. Black,
Yep.
predominantly black.
Yep.
Okay.
Of course.
He's setting us up.
Yep. Yeah, and he says the quiet part out loud. That's what people really. I mean, I'm tired of listening to him too, but you do have to listen to him because he tells you. He tells
Yeah.
you. what he's thinking and what he's going to do, and it's so shocking sometimes that we just go, oh, no way, but now we need to learn that, yes way, yes
Yeah.
way, he will tear the east wing down, yes he will, whether it's
Yeah.
legal or not, it doesn't make any difference.
So Ariel, this is what I don't get, and I want anybody that can answer this. How is it that we know what the Constitution says? He says to hell with it. Our congressman knows what the Constitution says. He still says to hell with it. We tell him he's breaking the law, and he still breaks the law. How do you stop a rogue president like this? How do you stop him?
You don't. There's no checks because Congress is Congress, Senate, they're working lock and step with it. And it seems like the Supreme Court is too. He has everything he needs. I mean, his last term, he appointed three judges that had his views. I mean, that was the start of it right now. How the worst president in history was able to appoint three judges, I have no idea. But that was step one, to get the Supreme Court. And now everything is his. It's like he's a king. I mean, we keep having these no king rallies, but it's too late. We already have one.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they agree everything he does. They agree with him. They're not even making policy anymore. He's just signing stuff. Right. This is what I want. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is what I want. Mm-hmm. We don't even need a Congress anymore. We got him. We got a king.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah,
but they're not even passing any kind of legislation. What kind of legislation have they passed that we heard about?
That's why that blue wave is important.
Yeah, only thing they're doing is passing the budget bill. They keep having a shutdown on the budget bill. Let's pass the bill. Let's pass the bill. The big ugly bill. Let's pass the bill. That's the only thing they're doing. We have a king, y'all. It's too late.
Yeah, but we got a clean house. As you know, we're heavily. I mean, we're invested in our Democrats, and I am, but I'm saying and we said that, and I said this the other night. We've got to clean house and get rid of the establishment Democrats that are rubber stamping everything. Mm-hmm. And I won't call the names of the ones I hate the most, just CS and HJ. But there's a lot that they do that they didn't have to do. They could have stood up. They could have had some backbone, but they don't. They don't. So we have to get rid of.
Who else agrees with Marsha?
Democrats also.
Who else agrees with that?
We definitely gonna have to get rid of.
I agree.
I agree, and I think we definitely gonna have to get rid of some of the Democrats as well. But right now, we're gonna have to get rid of Republicans first and foremost.
Right.
The other thing is too, our people. One thing that I noticed about, I used to work for the Democratic Party. One thing I noticed, and I'm gonna talk because mainly I worked in the Black community. One thing that I noticed is we're extremely ignorant when it comes to the government system that we live within. And so they don't even understand. Somebody mentioned in the questions part about checks and balance. There's three forms of government and they're equal to each other. Mm-hmm. And so we have to make sure that Congress reinforces the rules to the president because they're supposed to be checking and balancing each other. There should never be any branch of office acting as if they're the king of anything.
Right. Well, but like he said, with him having the Supreme Court, at his beck and call, and they just turn around and say, well, we're cool with that.
But they're not giving him everything. He's not winning everything.
I can't remember what president it was. I don't remember if it was Obama or if it was Biden, but one of them, it had to be Obama, didn't appoint a Supreme Court justice.
They were
trying to, but McConnell held up the voting.
Yeah.
And
so, I mean, and then there's some things I think Biden should have did. Was maybe appoint three more
pack
people.
The courts.
Pack the courts. He should have done that.
But see, the Democrats try to play by the rules.
Yeah, they soft.
Play by the rules.
You gotta be mean.
I don't think it's soft. I think sometimes you want to do it the right way, but unfortunately, you don't have. They're not doing it the right. So now you got to play their game.
I believe.
Well, I mean,
I believe darkness doesn't
behind
knock
him.
out darkness. Light only knocks out light. But sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire.
Amen.
You do.
But I'm saying they tied Barack Obama's hands behind him when
Mhm.
they, turned the Congress, when they made the Congress more Republican. So they just jammed him up. So he's not entirely at fault, so to speak.
No.
But people went to sleep. People were, they were so excited to see this black man in office. They didn't understand that he needs partners, and people, black people and others, tend not to show up for the interim elections. But those are the ones that empower the president. So he literally had his hands tied behind his back after the midterms. So
the Democrats just seem like they don't have strategy. They don't have any strategy.
That's what I was going to say.
Even when Obama was president,
strategy.
what her name? The Supreme Court justice.
Katanji.
I know.
The older ones who passed away.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
She should have retired while Obama was president and had the House and the Senate. Then we could have had another seat. She wanted to, I don't know why she stood.
But here's the thing, though. But Mitch McConnell was the head of the Judiciary Committee back then.
Oh no, she should have retired when Obama had the White House.
He would have. Yeah, that would have been his first term. That would have been
exactly.
His first term.
That was she should have retired then.
Right.
She ain't know she was gonna die.
I mean, she was sick, but she didn't know she was gonna die. But she was kind of sick in and out of. She was already sick anyway.
Right.
So
I mean,
at some point you got to know when to let it go.
Right.
Right. I mean, to be honest, there should be term limits.
Even his past election, Joe Biden knew soon he won, he should announced, "I'm not running again."
Right.
I agree.
As soon as the first day after the election, he should say, "I'm one term and I'm done."
Right.
That way you can get your affairs in order. You got 4 years to get your affairs in order. You trying to you playing the game too long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
he
who would
didn't
have ran
necessarily
in
have
his
to
place?
publicize that. But if he had let the Democrats organize around that concept, yes.
I honestly do not believe that after Kamala Harris lost, they don't want a woman, period. Trump wouldn't have beat a man at all. He won because he ran against a woman, because this country is still so Lord have mercy, I was going to say
misogynistic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you finna say menage a trois.
To be honest, Kamala Harris was the most qualified candidate of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had experience in all 3 branches of government. I don't
Right.
think we've ever had a presidential candidate to have that.
I agree.
And but people aren't going to pull a lever. There's a certain amount of people that's not going to pull the lever for a woman.
Well, y'all
Especially a
have to
black
know, too,
woman.
that black people looked at her sideways also. And that was my experience. That was our experience too.
It's a lot of black men don't want a lady leading the country.
Yeah, you're right.
Bottom line.
It's about 12% of us that's like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
so, guys,
they didn't decide it though.
I want us to address this comment right here.
That's for sure.
But I'm just saying,
now is the time minorities.
Sorry.
Now is the time minorities need to be encouraged to turn out for midterms. I want us to talk a little bit about why voting in the midterms is so important, because a lot of people, I'm sitting this one out, especially in Georgia right now. I think we need to talk to them because they're probably feeling some kind of way now that the FBI has their personal information. And until this judge Thrash, until he comes back and gets these ballots back, they're sitting on these people's personal information. So let's talk about why. I understand all of that, guys, but why we have to vote. Let's talk about that, because we want to make sure that people get the full message here tonight.
Well, I think that's simple. You got to have checks and balances within the system. If you don't have checks and balances in the system, you're going to get what we got. And there's no checks, and if there's no check, there's no balance.
Yeah.
So he's able to do whatever he want to do because the Republican Party won't check him. I mean, that's why you have 3 branches of government. Each government supposed to check each other. But when you have all 3 governments, all 3 entities working as one, you don't have a shot. This nothing. You know what I'm saying? You have a
Yeah,
monarchy,
right.
really.
And in midterms is a lot of your locals, your local
Yes.
your local elections, and that's the power. That's the
That's
true
the power.
power. It don't matter who the president is if if you have everybody in line in your local in your local districts that's fighting for what you want. You know,
Mhm.
so that's why it's so important to vote in the midterms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just what I was thinking, because your local elections have far more an effect on your
Yep.
immediate
Mhm.
circumstances. When it comes to jobs in your neighborhood, your
Yeah.
school board,
In
who's making
schools.
decisions about your children,
I'm
who's making
telling
decisions.
you.
I mean, those that's way more important, or shall we say, it's way more um, impactful to your daily life than what the president and senators. I mean, we need them all, but
Yeah.
missing those local elections is a big mistake. It's a big mistake.
Yeah. Kim says this is why he thinks that Kamala lost. That the churches teach that a man should lead. Have you been in a church? Have any of you guys been in a church where you can see that, oh, okay, we see what's going on here. It's just not proper for women to lead. And some people have adopted that mindset. Do you guys think that was in part to her losing? Because we got to make sure we don't repeat and mess up and lose this midterms. We need to figure out a plan, like you said, a strategy. So what do you guys think about that?
I
Somewhat,
think
yeah.
I think that not really in black churches, but I do think that was happening in white churches. I've met a lot of white women whose husbands died and they said they got the first time to vote the way they wanted to. I think that still happens a lot in white churches. In black women, we got mouths in our mind. We do not, you ain't gonna tell me who to vote for. In churches, sometimes I get that, but I don't think black churches are
So what their
that
husband go in
hard on.
their husband go in the booth with them or something?
No, they just tell them who to vote and they do it. I'm surprised.
Is that true, Kathy? I mean, we have a white woman sitting right here. Why don't we ask her? Is that true?
Yes, it's very true. And that started back almost as soon as the Bible was printed. Men, white men, European men, because they were the ones following the Bible, decided to use the Bible as a way to control women. And the church has used that to control women for centuries now. And it's just turning around. I've always said it's going to be very, very hard in America for a woman to get elected, because there is so much of that um, prevalent in our what has been Christian society. I do think that's changing, but
Mm-hmm.
I also think that if Camilla had had a much longer campaign
That's
season,
right. Yeah.
I think that there would have been a much better chance. But unfortunately, the Democratic Party messed up. They held on to Biden longer than they should have, and made all of America mad. And she really didn't get a chance, you know.
Yeah.
I think if she had had 2 years of full campaigning, we might have seen some different
Could have been
results.
different. Could have been
What
different.
about the rhetoric that she used? Would you have advised her to not talk about Trump as much, do this more, or do you think that her speech was on point? Do you think that there was any improvement that could have happened there, or
I
you think
don't.
she said everything right?
I do. I think I do. I
I
I, I
don't.
think and then I love that people constantly are posting her words now.
Yeah.
She warned everybody. She warned everybody.
Mhm.
That she's trying to tell us all, wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
happening right in front of your eyes. And believe your eyes, believe your ears. They are not lying to you. But there's a bunch of other people that are lying to you. And um, I think if she had had longer to prove that she knew what she was talking about, I think it would have helped.
Well, there's a
Kathy,
part of me that
Kathy.
thinks she did win.
Let
I'm
me say
sorry.
this.
Yeah,
This.
yeah.
I do
Let's talk
too.
about that.
I do too.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
I just want to say that sexism is such a long held notion. We can't just say it's the church because I mean, even I don't know if this has changed yet, Ella, but we in the community we were raised in, they didn't let women in the pulpit. Now I had a
And didn't.
and
And didn't.
I mean, in Atlanta, I had a female pastor. I don't like using the word female. I had a woman pastor, and I love Dr. Barbara King. Her name happened to be King. She passed away a few years back, but I loved being in a church that had such excellent leadership, and she was a powerhouse. But all I'm saying is, it's not just the church; it's that sexism and misogyny is bred in, it's baked in. I mean, I don't care what organization you're talking about, I don't care what community you're talking about, I don't care how modern people believe they are. It's I tell the story about how I became a feminist, and it happened when I was about 14. I mean, it was a journey for me, but I was like 12 or 13, and I wound up in DC as part of the this program for youth. I forgot what it was called, when they took high school kids to DC and taught us all about how the Capitol worked. But at any rate, I ended up in a meeting with Now. I'm not a, don't mistake me for a fan of Now, but I did enjoy the rhetoric. I did enjoy the conversation, but at the same time, I told the story about how I confronted my dad one time about how strict he was in my regard, and I said, I had four older brothers, and I was like, Dad, I have better grades, and I'm very responsible. I do what I'm supposed to do around the house, my chores. You never have to ask me twice, and I keep my grades up. And then you let my brothers do just about anything, come in, go, leave. And I want to go to the dance, and it's like, no, or I got to be back by 9. Well, the thing don't start till 8:30. What's the problem? I think I've proven that I'm a responsible person. And he said this in the country manner in which he spoke. He says, well, I learned that it was okay to let my bulls roam, but I keep my heifers locked up.
Oh, no.
What?
Well,
It was
you
just
know what?
it was such a weird thing for me to hear,
Whoa.
But I never forgot that moment.
Wow.
I never forgot that moment.
That is
Like,
crazy.
what? And it just
Yeah.
felt like I felt like the rest of my life
I gotta write that down.
Yeah.
I know, I'm like feeling some kind of way now about
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Everything that way. Like,
Yeah.
politically. You let the rules wrong, but you keep your evidence locked up. We got a man who's been convicted 32 times of raping women. We know that he has raped children. It's a fact. We let the bulls roam, but we keep the heifers locked up. I mean, it just seemed like that was it just like that was the opening of my mind to the understanding of the oppression of women. It starts in our families. It starts at home.
Okay, I want to go back and kind of reiterate what I said, and here's why.
Yes, ma'am.
That still comes from the Bible and
Exactly.
Christianity. And
Absolutely.
one of the things that I've noticed is, and that was the first thing, that they insisted the slaves do, was give up their religion and their culture and follow the white man's Bible.
Mm.
But you go back to African tribes, there are many that are run by women. You go back to indigenous tribes, there are many that are run by women. There are societies all over this world, and that's why there's a lot of world leaders that are women. But the United States has uh, really separated themselves and insisted that Christianity and the Bible is the religion of the United States, but it's a very warped Christianity. It's not Jesus, it's white man's interpretation of Christianity, European white affluent men, and how they've interpreted the Bible. And they just passed that right along to the slaves and other people that came to this country. And so
Mm-hmm.
yes, it did end up, but the black churches, I feel, were some of the first ones that did start having women ministers. Um, but you're right. When I was growing up, that there was no such thing. But a lot of the black churches are the ones that very first said, it's okay for what, because I remember just as a kid being shocked that a woman could be a minister and hearing about those. But so again, I'm gonna put it back on corporate Christianity of of the rich, wealthy European Americans.
Wow. Let me ask you guys a question. I know this might be a little off topic, but what part of this white man's religion do you think hurt us the most?
Read the Bible.
You think that hurt us to read the Bible?
Well, yeah, because I think when black people came from Africa, I think they were very spiritual. As my man said earlier, the creation was started not here in America, over in Africa, and they they came with tremendous beliefs in God, and they were not anti God or even Jesus. They might have called him a different name, but they knew who Jesus was in many African cultures and revered him. And
How
Jerusalem,
do
Jesus,
you
Jerusalem is
see it?
right
Jesus,
there.
Yeah.
yes, and
Yes.
Jesus did not, by the way, oppress women, and that's what a lot of
Okay.
male dominated churches have left out. You go back to Jesus's life. Jesus, a woman was, the first person he appeared to after he was resurrected.
Right?
All the way through history, while Jesus was here, he lifted women up. You know,
Mm.
so they didn't get that from him, and that's one of the reasons why the Roman Church took over, and because they didn't want women being revered either. And
Mm.
so it goes back so much farther than we even realize or think about. And that's what I like now about global education, that for the first time in my life I can hear about, tribes in Africa that are being led by women, that there are warriors that protect
Oh, nice.
the tribes, that, and and it's not just Africa. It's, like I said, it's indigenous women right here in the United States. It's South Americans. It's worldwide.
But
Do
I
you
think
guys
back
think Kamala
then,
should run? Do y'all think Kamala should run again?
Nah.
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
You know, she's not. She's not. I mean, hey, I voted for Kamala
Get it out.
Harris.
Get
I
it out,
did.
Brett. Come
But
on.
but I
I
but
voted. I voted for. I believe. I mean, I mean, but I know she's a politician. But like, they're not gonna elect her. And
Mm-mm.
we got comfortable. As a
Mhm.
vote, as a voting group, that we would think that we could just throw. I mean, we could put a woman there, and we
Mhm.
can't. The swing voters won't. They won't allow it. So I mean,
Mhm.
that's why I say, man, Gavin Newsom gotta run next time. I mean,
He's
in
one.
28, and he'll take the White House. And I mean, but
Mhm.
you can't play around with it with certain seats. People aren't ready to change
Mm-mm.
like that
Mhm.
but
across the
That's
I
true.
board.
but
I don't know.
I agree.
if the Democrats take over, I would love to see her at Secretary of State though.
That's
Oh, that would be
fine.
nice.
Oh yeah.
Love it. I
I
think she'd
think
be
we
great
made a
there.
big misstep, or the Democrats made a big misstep when they undermined Bernie Sanders' campaign.
Yes, but
That I think we wouldn't be in this situation now if they hadn't, because Bernie Sanders was a much better candidate than Hillary Clinton was. And I think had the Democratic Party actually supported it and run a good campaign, I think Bernie Sanders could have gotten it. And I think that, I mean, I live here in New York. I'm extremely hopeful. I'm extremely excited about Mom Donnie as a leader. I don't think it's too wild to believe that he could maybe not leverage himself after one term, but I do think he can empower Democrats in a unique way. That's why I'm so excited about getting rid of establishment Democrats. I think that we are at a right moment to get
Right.
better Democrats
Right.
in office,
Yeah.
more
We gotta
progressive,
take advantage of that.
and Bernie Sanders has gotten some steam from the fact that Mamdani won. And I like to remind people that FDR was a Democratic Socialist also. He was a very well beloved president who created some great institutions that we have now: Social Security, unemployment. All these things were a product of a Democratic Socialist. If we got out there in front of it, we don't necessarily have to say Democratic Socialists because that's when white people lose their mind. But if we just had, talked about progressive politics and just stayed on target, I think we could. I think we could leverage someone.
I want to know if you guys have heard this. Have you guys heard that Pam Bondi? Because I want to bring it back because we're going to get ready to get out of here. But Pam Bondi said, like you say, the quiet part out loud, where she said that we'll stop all this chaos in Minnesota if you hand over the voter rolls. So it looks like this is what's going on. Why? Because these corrupt cities that Trump is talking about, this 15, they're all predominantly, Democrat, obviously. They're all corrupt. He's setting us up. He's setting up the stage so that he can get what he wants and nationalizing the elections and stuff. What do you guys think about that? Her saying that.
Oh, okay. You want to nationalize our election? Get rid of the electoral college. How about that?
Oh, that.
Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah, do that. I bet you they will do that. This is what Republicans don't want to admit. Most Americans are liberal. Bottom line, they have more liberal values than conservatives, and they vote. Most people vote that way as well. And then, the only reason, that's why Trump is he's the first Republican president to win the popular vote since Bush. You know what I'm saying? So, that tells you that most people don't want to vote Republican, and they don't want to admit it. They want to make it seem like they're the majority.
Yeah,
they're not. They're the minority in this country.
Yeah. We have a question on the table, guys. I want everybody to answer this one. Should Newsom choose Obama, whether it be Barack or Michelle, as VP?
Nope.
Nope.
He needs to appoint them, pack the courts, and appoint them on the Supreme Court.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
So you don't think y'all don't think Obama needs to come back?
Nope.
Not in the capacity. Not in that capacity.
He probably would.
Not in that capacity.
No, not VP.
No,
we got
I think partly Trump's in office too because of retaliation of Obama being in for those 8 years.
Right.
So I don't think no.
We got a guy in Texas
black people right now.
In Texas named Tallarico. I think that's who he should run. He should run with, because he'll get the evangelicals. He'll get the church crowd. But he's a liberal guy, and then Newsom will get everybody else. So I think they would be a powerful team.
I don't think people care about all that no more. I don't think people care about the church crowd and get this crowd, and you know what I'm saying. I just don't.
I was about to say the same thing.
Souls for the polls is real. That's why they tried to end it.
The climate in the world and America is changing. The church is becoming, with each day that passes, revealed for what it's been.
Oh, girl, that's a whole different show.
But so here's what I'm saying. I think there's more and more that there's a groundswell. This is my prediction as a 69-year-old woman that's seen a whole lot of stuff. There's a groundswell of going back to really more like a Native American type model where you you take care of the world, you worship a spirit, the spirit of the universe. And part of that is because science is proving a lot of things that both African and I mean just indigenous people period everywhere have said for millennia and about our consciousness and who we are in the world. And there's been such a distortion of the Bible, such a distortion of the Bible. I'm not saying I don't believe the Bible, I'm saying it's been distorted.
Of course.
And so has the church. But I feel like there's a groundswell because one of the things that I find interesting when you leave people alone, talk, just like groups of people, they come up with unity, love, community standards, taking care of each other. You go to a lot of these, like Somalia and places, not Somalia, Samoa, where they've been pretty much isolated from the rest of the world. That's how they run their their countries, and they do it well because they're a circle of people. They're not horizontal, and it's not power at the top and little guy at the bottom. They function in circles. They function in everybody's got a stake and and everybody's expected to participate. See, that's another thing. You have to make your contribution in that society, whatever it is, however you can do it. But it's founded almost like even the Kwanzaa principles. It's founded on what I believe are universal principles that are laws of the universe, and that is love and peace and
Right.
kindness and
Right.
respect. And I think there's going to be a groundswell of that happening because um, with all the information that's available today, I just think it is.
I want you guys, the viewers, I want y'all to think about it because tonight, for tomorrow night's broadcast, it's going to be viewers' choice. So y'all think about what y'all would like us to talk about tomorrow night. But I'll ask before I get out of here. Now, Grace Property, Kim says if Trump is successful at convincing Americans that the voting system is rigged, that's right, that's what we've been talking about. He will use the opportunity to invoke martial law to stay
Hmm.
in office. That's the plan.
Hmm.
That's why he wants to make everything like seem like it's so, oh, yeah, because he wants martial law so that he can stay there.
Yeah,
I'm
that's why.
concerned that we don't have laws to reverse a martial law invocation. I love that. You see, that's what I was talking about, guys, earlier when I said he's breaking all the laws and nobody's stopping him. Who's to
Right.
say, how can we stop a martial law? How do we
Yeah.
stop it?
He's conditioning the cities now with ICE,
Yes.
putting ICE out there, militarizing them, putting them out there, sending the National Guard and military to these. And you notice he's only doing these to major cities, right? Because he can control the little towns. He can control that with just with a speech. But he's getting people used to seeing the military out there. And
Yeah.
then when it's time to flip that switch for martial law, it'll be an easy transition.
See, guys, we had to do it.
Yeah, but I don't think he could do it in New York, and I haven't seen him go hard in California. I mean,
Yeah.
large Democratic states that hold a lot of unfortunately, the electoral votes. He's not going to be able to wield it in those states. I'm just saying, we just got to be careful. We just got to be careful. I just think we don't need to worry about church people. Church people vote, number one, and the church is not what it was. The church is a largely dwindling institution. I mean, there's people that believe in God, but how many people are getting up, getting dressed, driving to church? Not that much. We need to focus on young people. We've got to get the youth out there. We got to get people who are transitioning now to just being voting age.
Yeah.
They're activists. We already know they're activists. They're out here. But are they voting? That is the step. We have to make sure that we're getting them out there. So if we're going to organize any group, I don't think we need to be even thinking about church people. Right now, church people leading us to hell, actually. So I'm not worried about church people.
Marsha,
The church is
Marsha said it. She went there. Lord have
They
mercy.
set up a car thing. They set up a thing to get all the elderly people out there. I'm telling you, churches are fine. We just need to worry about young folk, college age, and people that just turned voting age.
Yeah, because
Well,
a lot of us are stuck in our ways and we're just not open to change. Yeah.
I'm encouraged by Minneapolis is giving the entire world a TED Talk right now. They have approached oppression in a way that I'm not aware of it ever having been approached. They're almost laughing in the face of the oppression. It's how we're taught to treat narcissists. Um, that you just you know they try to intimidate you and you show up in a frog costume
Yeah.
and play music. They say they're going to beat you and you lay down. They're with their neighbors and they have all this underground stuff going on, and there is so much that's happening in Minneapolis right now that I personally believe that America really needs to pay attention, and
It's
especially
them.
people
Yeah.
that are oppressed in America, because Minneapolis, they outnumber ICE. ICE outnumbers the police force in Minneapolis. All the folks in Minneapolis said, "Oh, you want to outnumber our police department? Watch this. We will outnumber you." And they do. They
They're
they
fighting back.
yes,
Yeah.
they overwhelm by I mean, really. I mean, how much control would ICE have um of over these crowds if they weren't compliant? They're way outnumbered. Way
Kim,
outnumbered.
Kim said that's because the protesters are majority of the white race out there.
Yeah, but that's because there are a lot of black folks trying to put food on the table.
True that. Listen, guys, before we get out of here, I had like all these quotes that I wanted to just kind of let us to talk about that Trump has been putting out there, because you just can't keep up. There's just not enough Googling out there in the world to keep up with all the foolishness that he says.
It's
So I'm
gonna
going to
get
pick
worse.
one because this is real, because they try to make it seem like that raid in Atlanta was independent. But Trump said this. He said, people will soon be prosecuted for what they
Yes.
did in 2020. That's probably breaking news. We have a department that's finally doing its job. He knew about it. He knew this raid was coming.
Sure did.
Yeah, he
And
ordered
then,
it.
because Tulsa,
Yeah.
she called him.
Of
She
course he
called
knew. He
him.
ordered it.
Yes, he ordered it. That's right. She called him, and she's got him on speakerphone, and he's like, "Good job, guys. Way to go!" Right? And I'm just
Hmm.
like, oh my God, people wake up. We have to make sure people know these details. He is trying to take over the elections. He's being, because he's scared. This is history repeating itself. I've been saying it all week, because when people were afraid, because I'm showing respect, people were afraid in Tulsa. Okay, wait a minute. These black folks get besides themselves now. They're the Greenwood district. They're owning everything. They don't come outside for anything. That money is staying right there in that black. Now we can't have that jealousy. That's what happened in Akoi. Guys, listen, I know that they try to tell you that Akoi was about voting. Yes, that was part of it, but it was also about the land. There's nothing new under the sun. We got to wake up. If there's ever a time that we got to put aside our differences, we, black and white, have to come together. We
That's
have
right.
to come together. We have to come together. I want to give you guys all some words to say. Okay, viewers, I need y'all to tell us what should the show be tomorrow. This is viewers' choice. Tell me, what should it be? Put it in the comments right now. But before we do that, I want everybody to give their last and final words before we get out of here. Starting with you, Charlie, because you've been so quiet. Bless your heart. You got to jump in with this group, man. I'm telling you. I'm the host, and I got to jump in. I'm like, right? But I love it. So go ahead, give me some last final thoughts.
It's been a great evening.
Yeah.
I'm a great listener, and because to me, every opportunity should be a learning experience to be able to learn things that you might not know, and then once you hear it, you can go do your own research to get all the details. Because to me, one should never stop growing.
Right.
And I think
That's right.
more than anything, as we with this month and looking forward as a country, a mindset shift is going to be required in order for us to get back on track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just with a few selected ones, but as a country, about how we think about not only the things that's taking place around us, but things that's taking place across the nation as a whole. True, we disagree with a lot of the things that the president is doing, but like it was said earlier, when he say things, we have to take it for at face value.
Exactly.
Because to this point, he has not fell short on anything that he said he was going to do.
Amen.
And there's still some things that's on his list that he planned to do, during, his time. And if it's the case that he can convert it to where he can stay, then our nation as a whole is going to really be into trouble, in deep trouble. So it's very important now to have that mindset shift to where people are willing to step up and do what's required to help each other to basically get there. It's not just about the knowledge perspective, but it's about the financial perspective as well. We just can't say, well, the government is going to take care of us, or the government is going to do this. We got to be willing to roll up our pants legs and get it done ourselves to where we can be contributors to what's going on to make it better.
Amen.
And until we do that, then it's always going to be a struggle.
All right, Heather, you next.
I think the biggest thing that I think we should focus on is that midterm election. I think we're gonna have to move people out the way and get those seats. And I'm not really a party person anymore, but we're gonna have to get those seats blue to change and get this country back on track. I think we're in a laughing stock to the world, and the more we allow him to continue doing the stuff that he's doing, we are not going to be the country we once was. We ain't there no more. That's for sure. So I think we should focus on that race, that midterm election.
How do we get the independence, Heather?
The candidates are going to have to work hard. I think independents, and I think a lot of Republicans are going to swing blue too. I think that we're going to have some strong candidates, period. And we're going to have some strong Democratic candidates that are in red, that are running in red seats, period. We have one here, a young Black girl by the name of Nikaya Jasmine. She's one of the 7 Black women running for Congress. And so I think we need to look at those women and try to push some of them into those seats. And Nikaya is for real in a red state. We didn't have one blue county in Oklahoma.
Oh, wow. Kathy?
Well, as usual, I'm going to say something a little different here. I don't know if people have heard that there's a famous story about starfish. A little boy walking on the beach. I'm going to make it short. And he came across a beach full of starfish that had washed up on shore. And if they stay on the beach, they'll die. They need to go back in the water. So the little boy started picking up starfish one at a time, throwing them in the water. Yeah, an older man came along, probably somebody my age, and said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm throwing these starfish back in the ocean because they are going to die if I don't." And he said, "Well, how could that possibly make a difference?" And the little boy picked up one starfish and threw it in the ocean and said, "Well, it made a difference to that one." And as a teacher, it was always very hard for me to believe that what I was doing would impact the world. You know, that me doing something for one child at one time might make a big difference. And I think that's what we can learn from Minnesota. There, those people there are no different than anybody else. They all could do something, and that's what they're all doing. Michelle Obama said it. You know, we all could do something. I remember so well at the national convention last year, her saying, and we've got to constantly remind ourselves and others because this world is broken. There's a lot of evil in this world. So
Yeah.
every opportunity you have to do what's right, do it. Don't miss an opportunity to do what's right. Because at some point, all of us that believe in doing what's right and believe in love and believe in humanity and believe in treating our fellow man like they're a human being. That's what we have to do every single day. And there's a major force in this world that will tell you that you have to have a big platform to make a difference in this world. You have to be a professional football player, yada 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 yada. That is not true. Every single one of us, if we just do one thing for one person, it will make a big difference. So that's
Very.
my way to end the night
Yeah.
is to encourage everybody and to say thank you for having me on tonight. I consider it an honor, and I've learned a lot from all of you tonight. I hope I haven't come across as uh, that uppity white woman that won't shut her mouth.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Okay, let me go because I got to get out of here.
Okay, yes, Ariel, I was coming to you next.
Yeah,
Go
first of all,
ahead.
I want to thank you, Miss Ella Johnson, for inviting me on.
Of
So
course.
listen. I agree with everything Kathy said. I like what she said, and I like to right now to propose a trade, Miss Kathy
Yeah.
for Nicki Minaj. All, all I had raised. I enjoyed being with y'all. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Great.
Ariel. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay, Miss Marsha. Marsha.
Ah,
So, sorry, I forgot to. So I
I
hope
don't
that
know.
I came thinking that, you told us to, I think at our last meeting, you said you wanted the last meeting I attended rather on Sunday. You said to come up with plans. I have really, really been thinking about plans, things we can do in the immediate and in the distant for the race that we're in. I'd like us to exchange more ideas about that as far as like the next show.
Oh
Um,
my God.
and also, I think about economic independence, and we talk about it, and but I think to myself, I don't like the Asian Americans. Are they organizing people to get to the polls and do the things, or or do our Jewish neighbors organize, get people to vote? No, because they're not worried about it. They're not. They don't care who is in charge because
Very
their
good point.
communities are organized in a way that they are
Can't
able
hear
to
nothing.
self-govern and do what needs to be done, and they're connected. They're interconnected to each other. So I
Yeah, I
think
lost my sound too.
I think about things like that when it comes to um,
Hmm.
what
It's weird.
I mean, yeah, but at any rate, also let's make sure too. Yeah, we're focused on midterms. We're gonna hit it hard. We got to make sure we have midterms. Goodness gracious! But at the same time, let's make sure we got legitimate candidates, because don't think that those people won't infiltrate Democrats and then you go, oh, we vote blue. Let's be wary. Let's check the track record. Let's new blood. You're gonna have to do some things, make some commitments, make some promises. We got to do a deep check on these people, because we know they're manipulative. We know that. You know it. You know they are just anyway. We can't trust them as far as we could throw them.
That's
so
right.
don't think that they won't set up some people to come in posing as Democrats who will throw our vibe off. So that's it. Thank you so much. Enjoyed all of it.
All right. Brett, you have the final word for the night. Take us home.
All right. Go out there and get involved. Get involved in your community.
Awesome.
Go to your school board meetings. And you don't have to get up on the mic and scream and give your 2 cents. Just listen. Listen to the people and listen to what their concerns are and see if they're being met by the school board. All right. Now now also go to your city council meetings too. Get involved. Voting locally. If you want to boycott the presidential election, that's fine. Do that. But get involved on the local levels, your city councils, your governors, your state congress people, your state senators, your state everyone, your governors. You want it, that's the ones that's going to make an impact on your life. That's I mean, don't just sit around and complain. Don't boo. Vote. Your choice is your voice. Your choice is your voice.
All right, Obama. Yes. Okay, guys, I'm going to say this. I wanted to bring this up because I think that this is my call to action for people that are watching this broadcast. If you're in Atlanta, if you're in Georgia, obviously these are the numbers that you call for your senators. Because, guys, you have 2 senators and then you have representatives that support your state. So you should get involved, especially right now with this raid going on in Georgia. That's why I put this here, is so that you guys definitely need to be calling your senators and representatives up there so that you can, say what you want. This is how and I'm telling you, it works. When you call, email, write letters, all of that matters because they have to take a look at it. They look at that every single morning. They have their intern that brings all of that information out. Then I also have a number here for anybody. So I think it's important, guys. And in the comments at the beginning of the show, I also dropped the website, house.gov, senate.gov. Go there, see who your reps are. So no matter where you are, even if you're in wherever you are, if you're in Georgia, California, no matter where, go to the website, put your zip code in there, the top right, and look and see exactly what's going on in your state. Get involved. Like Brett said, this is how we get involved. You have to reach out to them. Make them earn your vote. Right, Marsha? Make them earn your vote. Right. All right, guys. Well, we're going to get out of here. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show. I was waiting for some viewer to tell us what we should talk about tomorrow night, but I'll refer to my team here, see what we're going to talk about tomorrow night, guys. But have you guys been enjoying this Black History Month on the Ella Johnson Show so far? Yeah, I think the topics that we've been talking about, I think they're important. Well, all right, guys, get some rest, say your prayers, give God all the praise. We'll see you next time right here on the Ella Johnson Show. You guys have a great evening. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show. We'll see you next time.
We are supporters of the Ella Johnson Show. We live in South Korea. We have been watching Ella Johnson's show for like a year now, and we love her show. Her show is very inspirational, motivational, and educational.
If you would like to be a guest on The Ella Johnson Show, send an email to theellajohnsonshow@gmail.com or send a text message to 407-334-6997.
We love Ella Johnson Show.